Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin, a bounce off the 21-day EMA. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So Bitcoin is now bounced off the 21-day EMA. We covered this in a few videos ago, where I said, look, guys, we've seen it bounce off the 21-day EMA a number of times, and let's see if we bounce off of it again. And in fact, we have, and it feels pretty good, right? I mean, Bitcoin is now back above $65,000. We had a wick already above 66K. Obviously, market participants are feeling pretty good today. Now, why? Well, again, we've come out of a 3-week window where we've more or less been going sideways, and we should probably still be somewhat conservative and say, well, technically speaking, we are still somewhat moving sideways until we can actually break out, right? Let's break out of this range. Because until then, we are still not technically in say, new price discovery mode, right? I mean, we've already seen these prices before, albeit if it was relatively short-lived. Now, the 21-day EMA now, if you're curious, is 61.2K, right? It's 61.2K. You can see, again, this is the one we rode quite frequently back in the August, or July, August, and September rally that Bitcoin had. Now, one of the things we looked at this pattern. We'll look at it again. We know we fell off of it, okay? So we know we sort of were not able to keep pace with it, but we can at least see kind of where it would be if we were. So we sort of fell off track with it, but now we're actually back to where we would have been. Although this is coming in on a move up. This was coming in on a move down. But look, I mean, if we continue to track it, if we get back on track, I should say, then we still could be looking at over 70K Bitcoin. All right. So let's see what Bitcoin can put together here. Clearly, the markets are moving up at the moment. Now, some other things we want to talk about are. We talked about the bull market support band yesterday. Okay, you guys probably saw that video. Make sure you guys go watch that one. But again, the 20-week SMA is now at 48.4K. And 48.5K, if depending on the exchange, and then the 21-week EMA is at 51.7K. So the bull market support band looks good, looks healthy. The 8-week moving average, we're still well above it. That looks healthy. Okay, so I think our thesis that holding the bull market support band as support would lead to clear skies ahead. I do believe it is more or less playing out as we would have imagined it would after having several weeks testing this prior level. Now remember, it is important having all these weekly closes above 60K, because as I said, it turns the prior resistance that we had, okay, into support. And this is ideal. This is what we want to see. Now, with that said, I know a lot of people are saying, well, are we, what's going to happen now? I mean, I see, of course, the bears are redrawing their trend lines for the 1,000th time this year. But it still sort of begs the question, well, what do we have in store? Is Bitcoin going to go absolutely parabolic and go to several $100,000 in the next month? Okay, because again, in 2017 we saw it go to 20K. In 2013 in November, which would be this month, we saw it go above $1,000. But again, those were all parabolic rallies, right? They're all parabolic rallies. I would say be somewhat conservative with your projections. Be conservative and then be pleasantly surprised if you're wrong. That's at least how I navigate the cryptoverse. What I can say is that I'm really enjoying the fact that we're putting in weekly closes above 60K. We're trending higher. The bull market support band is trending higher. The 8-week SMA is trending higher. It seems like a relatively healthy time in the market right now. Okay, we always speculated that this was not a market cycle top, just a local top, and we speculated it before the drop. I know a lot of people have sort of focused in on 2013. Yeah, but back over here they were not focused in on it. We've been focusing on this the whole time. We said, look, in order to have a double peak cycle, you have to have a first peak. We had the first peak. We are in the second leg, okay, of the cycle. Now, so far, the second leg is not as steep as the first leg. And you might say, well, is that FUD? What's he going on about now? Look, I mean, it's just a fact that this first leg here has been up a lot. It was up a lot quicker. I mean, look at the angle of attack on the 8-week. Look at the angle of attack on the 8-week. It was a lot steeper than it is today. If we were to overlay this move, and then just say put it on this bottom over here, you can see that we're not keeping pace with what we did last time. Now if we were to shift this over here, then we are keeping pace. Okay, we are keeping pace. Now, where would this take us? Where would this take us if we actually did more or less keep pace and the 8 week did turn up a bit quicker? Well, it means by the end of the month, we should be trading for about no less than 70K if we're going to keep pace. No less than 70K by the end of December. We should be trading around 140, 150K if we're going to keep pace with this one. I don't know if that's how likely that is. Remember, market capitalization is a thing. It is harder to sustain higher market caps, but that's where it would put us. By February, by March, we'd be looking at 200K. That would be quite a move, okay? I personally have my expectations not that high in the short term. If we go that high, great, okay? I'll be running for the hills, as I've said before. But what we can see is that, so far, this one over here, we can actually just take a measured move. Why don't we, I think there's we can go measure this angle, I believe, the trend angle, right? So this angle over here is about 55 degrees. Now, if you try to emulate this on your own screen, you might get a different result because, again, it does depend on the aspect ratio, as you can see, okay? So it's going to depend on the aspect ratio, so just pick one and then stick with it. So that's about 55 degrees. This one so far is about 39 degrees. If we were to just look at, say, this move, let me fix that. If we were to just look at this move, so far we're actually at around 55 degrees as we were back in October, but we actually have fallen pace off that a little bit. As you can see over the last several weeks, we have fallen off pace with that one. Right now we're at about 47 degrees. So the point is to say, does Bitcoin look healthy? Yes, it does. We're above the 20-week, we're above the 21-week EMA, we're above the 8-week SMA, we bounced off the 21-day EMA. Bitcoin looks relatively healthy. We're putting in weekly closes above 60K. The angle of attack isn't quite as steep as it was last year. This makes sense with the idea of market capitalization being a harder thing to push higher when the market capitalization is higher. All right. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe. Check out the premium list at enterthecryptoverse.com if you want to know how I'm navigating these markets. We put out weekly reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard, and more. Make sure you guys check it out. Click the bell icon to turn on notifications, give the video a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Bye.